Hi again, everyone. It's Miss Angie.
And Miss Taylor.
And we're back with another activity and a little story from the Bible that we wanted to read to you. And the reason we're going to read you a Bible story is because this is one of our favorite stories about Jesus. And since you're spending your 10 minutes in the Bible a day or several days to get to 10 days.
Absolutely.
We wanted to give you a story that maybe you can look up and you can read because you'll enjoy hearing it too. And it is in the book of Luke. Remember our Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So we moved on to Luke now, and this is in Luke chapter 5.
Verses 18 through 26.
Why don't you go ahead and read
The title is, Jesus Heals a Man Who Couldn't Walk. Some men came carrying a paralyzed man on a sleeping mat. They tried to take him inside to Jesus, but they couldn't reach him because of the crowd. So they went up to the roof and took off some tiles. Then they lowered the sick man on his mat down into the crowd. Right in front of Jesus, seeing their faith, Jesus said to the man, "Young man, your sins are forgiven." But the Pharisees and teachers of religious law said to themselves, "Who does he think he is? This is blasphemy. Only God can forgive sins." Jesus knew what they were thinking, so he asked them, "Why do you question this in your heart? Is it easier to say your sins are forgiven or stand up and walk? So I will prove to you that the Son of Man has the authority on earth to forgive sins." Then Jesus turned to the paralyzed man and said, "Stand up, pick up your mat, and go home." And immediately, as everyone watched, the man jumped up, picked up his mat, and went home praising God. Everyone was gripped with great wonder and awe, and they praised God, exclaiming, "We have seen amazing things today."
We really like that story because we really like what Jesus did. We really like knowing that Jesus does heal and care for us. And we want you to know that too. So today, the reason we read that story is because, do you remember what the friends did for the man who was on the mat? They had to work really hard. And so they had to pick his mat up. And have you ever tried to carry someone? They're kind of heavy. And they not only had to pick him up on his mat, but they had to cut a hole in a roof and lower him slowly down to Jesus' feet. They loved their friends so much, and they knew Jesus so well that they knew that's where they needed to get their friend. And you and I can get to know Jesus and love him so much, and we can introduce our friends to him also. So it's kind of neat. We really love this story.
Yes.
So to remember this story, I have a little arts and craft project for you. It's probably something you might have done before, and it's weaving. How many of you have ever woven paper before? It's kind of fun because on both sides it looks really neat. So what you do to do this project is you're going to need to get a piece of paper. It can be any color. Let's say you don't have construction paper at home, but you have computer paper where you can color it all different colors. So you get a piece of paper. And then what you're going to do is you're going to need a scissors, if you're allowed to use scissors. If you're not, your mom and dad can help you with this project.
Yes.
And all you're going to do, Miss Taylor, can you hold that side?
Absolutely.
Is you're just going to cut from the bottom almost to the top. You're going to leave about an inch, which is from your fingernail usually down to your knuckle. You're going to leave about that much space. You're going to cut strips into the paper. So let me wiggle this a little bit and see if you can see it. You see how I cut those strips in the purple paper? Then what you're going to do is you're going to pick out other colors or color other colors on paper.
Yes.
That's a tongue twister again. And you're going to take it and you're going to cut it. I'm sorry, Miss Taylor, in your face. Cut it the long way into strips. And then you're going to take those strips and you're going to weave them up and down in your paper. So what that means, boys and girls, is it means that you're going to go over and then under, and then over and then under, then over, then under, then over, then under till you're done. And you do the opposite when you start the next one. So if you were over on the first one, you're going to start under on the second row. I mean, you don't have to, but it kind of makes a neat wave. And what'll be really neat is when you're finished, you can take some Scotch tape, which I had here, but I lost, tape the bottom of your mat so that your paper doesn't fall out of it. And then you'll have a nice mat to remind you of this story and what you learned about Jesus and what you learned about being a friend who knows Jesus to others.
Yes. And we want to see your pictures. So send those to us.
Yeah, show us your creations. We're really excited.
Yeah.